I hear that for some of the big action scenes that you guys did, that you didn't often have a whole lot of notice. There was one scene where you had 20 minutes notice or something, and things were going to be blowing up all around you. Tell me a little bit about what that's like, because it's one thing to be in a movie like Delivery Man or on Bates Motel, something like that, where, you know, there aren't things blowing up all around you and it's not that intense. It's another thing completely to have to do your job and not get burnt, get hit by flying train. So tell me a little bit about how you prepare for that and what that's like for you.
A lot of things on set are very spontaneous. Obviously, though, they worked so hard to make this huge explosion. I think it took a week. But we didn't know about it. So we got on set. We were kind of confused. You know, we saw 10 cameras. And Michael told us a few minutes before, you know, you're going to do this huge stunt. It's not going to be a stunt double thing with you guys. And it was really exciting for us, though, because it was our biggest explosion we got to be a part of. And he was, you know, he just said you have to run from here to here in 4.6 seconds.
Is it that precise?
It is.
It is. I guess it has to be, right?
Yeah.
And for you, it's a different thing, right?
It's an incredibly intimidating experience in a lot of ways. You know, like Nicola says, it's very spontaneous, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to trust the people that are around you, that they know what they're doing and that they're safe and they're prepared. And we had a great stunt team, 5150, who worked on this film with us, and those guys really put us at ease. So we were happy to do whatever was asked of us whenever it was asked of us, you know.
Is there a balance between, like, the technical part, so you got to run in 4.6 seconds, and then still coming across with the emotion, right? The acting part of this is different. So is it this half of the brain says, okay, this, and the other half is I have to cry while I'm doing it, or whatever?
Well, I guess there's not much acting when there are real explosions behind you, and you just have to run. But, you know, I thought there was going to be more green screen than there actually was, and Michael, you know, wants everything to be as real as possible. So all the car chases and explosions are all real, so that is really helpful for us. Yeah.
Well, that, and from a viewer's point of view, if everything is generated within a computer or done in green screen, for me anyway, I find that it takes some of the danger out of it. Like, if I know that that's really you in a car and you're careening around doing whatever, I feel differently about the scene than I would if I figured that you were just sitting in a nice safe sound stage.
Well, you can really tell the difference, you know what I mean? You can tell when a movie's really heavy on CG. It doesn't really look real, you know what I mean? As far as we've come with effects and all the advancements that we've made, and, you know, some of them are really great, but at the end of the day, to do it practically and to do it for real always looks best on screen, and that's why Michael tries to make it that way. And on top of that, it just makes everything a lot more tangible for us and a lot easier to relate to and react off. So,
and I think that exactly what we just said applies to the audience as well.
Absolutely.
They react to it in a much different
That's why I think these movies so far have been as incredibly successful as they have, because the audience really does feel it, you know.
Well, that and giant robots.
That's true.
Were you a fan of the movies before signing on?
Yeah, a big fan. I grew up with six brothers, so I know all the action films, and growing up definitely knew about Transformers.
I guess with that six brothers, you might have missed some of that stuff, but it is a different way of getting into it, or of accessing it, I suppose. Tell me a little bit about what kind of director Michael Bay is with you, because you've all worked with different directors, or you both worked with different directors on different kinds of projects. He's got so much going on, and there's, you know, like the giant sets. Gareth Edwards, who just directed the Godzilla movie that came out recently, told me, he said, directing a movie like this is like having 1,000 kids running through traffic all the time.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That was exactly what I was going to say. He's responsible for 200 people's jobs on set at any one time. I mean, I think the budget of this film was $165 million, and that's something he has to keep his eye on as well. Not to mention, you know, all of his actors and everything else that goes with making a Hollywood blockbuster like this. And really, it's incredible to see how much energy the guy has and how much commitment he has to what he's doing. And it's to be revered and respected. You know, he really is kind of an outstanding human being in a lot of ways.
But he is a really hands-on director, which is amazing.
With you guys?
With us, He, you know, he's always the one who if there needs to be more dirt on the makeup, he'll say it, or he'll do it himself,
he'll throw it on himself, yeah.
Or he'll move anything he thinks needs to be moved. He's very hands-on, which is so nice, because you definitely see his enthusiasm. You know, when you work with him. It translates
on screen. It translates. You know, it's the small things that he picks up on in the frame at the very last second before we shoot that he changes himself, and it makes all the difference. You know, and that is what a Michael Bay film is, really, and that's why all his films are so successful.
Well, this film, though, I think is a little different than the other Transformer films. For one thing, the character that you play is Mark Wahlberg's daughter.
Right.
And in the previous films, it's been more like having, the sex symbol in the middle of the movie. And this is a different thing, right?
Yeah.
This is a much different kind of role. And I think probably changes the tone of some of the movie, right?
Yeah. Now, who I play is Tessa, and she's 17, so she's younger than the previous girls. But it is a great father-daughter story, and this one has an amazing human element to it, and has a lot of heart in it, and so she is definitely different from the other girls because she's much younger.
And it is, it is kind of, for Tessa's character in particular, and mine also, it's a little bit coming of age as well. You know, that theme definitely runs through it, and she's a character who's making these steps away from her life with her father, and she's moving out into the world on her own and becoming more independent, and I'm trying to promote that in her, and at the same time that's something that I'm trying to do for myself, and I'm trying to assert my place in this world. I'm a young Irish race car driver in the middle of Texas, and that's a difficult place to be, and that theme is definitely very prominent throughout the course of the film, I think.
Was there pressure for you taking over? I know you're not taking over from Shia LaBeouf, but you are now the center of the film, the male lead in the film, with Mark Wahlberg as Shia was. Is there pressure for that, or is it just a completely new thing you can't think about?
If there's pressure, it's not something that I took on one way or the other. I watched the previous films, obviously, to inform myself of the world I was going to operate in, but I wanted to approach this with a fresh standpoint and to make it as original as I could and develop an original character with his own traits and his own experiences and his own backstory, and between Michael and myself, I think we pulled that off. The stigma, of course, is always there that you're supposed to kind of like live up to somebody else, but really I think that if you put that kind of pressure on yourself, you're just lining yourself up for a fall. So I don't think Nicola or I did anything like that.
Baseball, is baseball big in Ireland?
No, not at all, but I've thrown out 3 first pitches this week, which has been an experience, and I've gotten them all pretty much in the strike zone. So I haven't pulled a 50 cent on it, which has been great. I've got a bunch of baseball jerseys with my name on the back of them now, and I think I have about 9 game balls. Which is crazy, People buy season tickets for their whole lives and they never get that close to a game ball, so I'm very lucky with the baseball these days.
Absolutely. Will you become a fan?
You're
working towards it.
It's one of those things. I've got a lot of family in New York, and I've always kind of been into the Yankees, I watch a little bit of the Major League now and again. It's not huge for me. I come from a rugby school, and that's my sport. That and our national sports in Ireland, hurling and Gaelic football. But I do like baseball. It's a fun sport.
What do you think? Bates Motel has been enormously popular as well. What do you think will happen after Transformers comes out, or can you allow yourself to think about the whirlwind that will probably come?
I guess I just take it day by day. I'm just really excited to be in the film, and I love traveling, and being able to travel and promote the film is exciting for me.
I think it's been a case for both of us that we've really seen a big shift in our careers since we made this film, and even without the film coming out, it's afforded us a lot of really great opportunities that we've tried our best to seize. I've made a couple of films since Transformers that I'm very proud of, and I'm excited for them to come out, and I've definitely just seen that gear change occur, and that's part of what Transformers is for me. It's a springboard into the kind of career that I want for myself, and I've been lucky to be able to craft what I want for my own career over the last year since we shot the movie.
You were here a couple of years ago, right?
That's right. I made a film called What Richard Did, exactly, which launched in Toronto, and it went down great here, and really that was the launch pad for my international career. And I've got a lot of love for the people in Toronto who gave it such great reviews and really helped me out on my way. So it was brilliant. Yeah. It's a great festival too. I'm hoping to come to the festival this year. It'll be really great.
It is a great festival. Book your hotel now, though. It gets busy. Tell me a little bit about working with Mark Wahlberg.
I love working with Mark so much. Everyone knows how talented he is, but he's so hardworking and such a professional. And just being able to be new in the business and learn from him and work with him has really been amazing for us. And he's just such a great guy.
Well, he can do anything. The thing that I'm always amazed by him is that he can make a movie like The Departed. Yeah. He can make Ted. And he seems like he's a survivor.
The ability to be able to reinvent his career again and again and again.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It is an amazing skill, and he's very fortunate in that. And he's, like Nicola says, a great guy to work with, incredibly dedicated and committed, and he leads from the front, and it's been great for us to both be able to observe him in his element and in his world, and we've taken away a lot of it, and I think it's kind of helped us both to develop our own work ethic in that industry, you know what I mean, and kind of experience how it relates to us and how best for us to relate to it.
Well, I think it's that kind of thing where when you see someone who is as successful as he has been, who is as famous as he is, who could make any movie that he wants, but he still comes in and gives 120% every time out. Yeah. You have to take something away from that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the lesson learned, I guess.
Right, he's a true professional.
Yeah. Will you be in the next one? Do we know?
If they'll have us back.
If they have us back, we'll be there.
Yeah. And what can you tell me about this film, without giving anything away, that people should know about?
This has a really beautiful human element to it. Right. It really does. It has a great... has so much heart in this film. And obviously, the explosions and car chases and all that are super entertaining and just so amazing. And what Michael does with these films is really incredible. He brings these robots to life and you really feel for them.
Yeah. Well, that's our time.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. This is very cool.
Oh, thank you.